My name's Joe Davis. I was diagnosed with colon cancer, and then I went through the process of oncologists and different ways to treat this, because it was something I never thought I would get. Cancer never entered my mind. I've always tried to take care of myself. And but talking to the oncologists, of course, they wanted to operate and radiate and chemoate, and I just never believed that you could cure cancer with something that itself causes cancer. So I started on a juice program where I took a month off and just juiced and did everything that the program, that was their idea, was juicing to fight the cancer, which that makes sense to me, to fight it with the natural. And so I did that, and of course I was getting calls from my doctor, when you coming back in, you're going to die if you don't get this cancer cut out of you. I said, well, I'm juicing at the moment. I was told that juicing will not cure cancer. And I said, well, I'm into it now. I've got 2 more weeks to go. And she says, well, you shouldn't wait. You should get in here so we can get you set up to get this operation done. I said, when I'm done my juicing, I'll call you. And I did. And I said, can we, before we go and cut me open, can we run some more tests to see if anything happened while I was doing this juicing, which is supposed to help? And I was told no, they would not perform any more tests because they hadn't done anything. And I left. I said, thank you. I said, well, you're going to die if you don't do something. I said, well, then I'll die if I don't do something, but I'm not going to just get cut open and do it that way. I'll try something else. And I left there, and I checked out some more places. I went and got a second opinion, much nicer doctors, but it was the same deal. First we have to remove the cancer, and then we'll radiate you and chemo you, and then we'll treat you naturally for the effects of that, which, that was the end discussion we had. And again, I've always taken care of myself. I don't go to doctors unless I have to. And so at this point, I got back on the internet and started checking out the natural healers. And I found a naturopath in my area, and I went to see her. And she was a oncology nurse for 30 years and got out of that and got into natural healing. And so she ran some tests, non-invasive tests, and she treated me for what she could. And she told me, that's all I can do to help you. That if you want to cure your cancer, I can't say whether she said cure or just address your cancer, or however she said it. And she gave me Utopia's number. She said, go see Dr. Garcia. So I got on the internet and I looked that up, and I watched his video, and he seemed like a nice enough guy. It seemed like he was interested in me, or not just me, but people in general. So after watching the video, I called down here, got in touch with Mark, told him what was going on. I said, all they want to do is cut me open, and he says, well, we don't do that here. He said, we'll treat everything naturally. We can cure your cancer without all that hoopla. And so I made the arrangements. very happy with the arrangement I made. I think this was the best thing that could have happened. I'm not a religious person, but I do have a belief in God, and I prayed about this, and I wound up here. And so I do believe that that was the path that was set for me. And so they said the program, starts at about 6 weeks. If you need to stay longer, you need to stay longer. Well, that will all be determined. And so I'm getting a little anxious. About 6 weeks, I'm ready to go and get this over with. But I wasn't ready yet, so I stayed. And I'm glad I did. I came down here to get rid of cancer. And I figured, well, they're just going to do what they have to do and treat me naturally and kill the cancer. But what they've done is they've opened up my mind, my heart. I couldn't have made a better decision. I feel great. I'm told I'm cancer free. This is 10 weeks. And I came down here with they're going to cut me open, and so I'm going to lay around in misery for 6 weeks while I'm healing from surgery. Then they're going to radiate me and make me sick for another however long. I came down here. I felt better every day, every week. Everybody is positive. They work with you. You got a question, they answer it. They do everything they can to help you. And that's what medicine's supposed to be, I thought. And so, I'm from Maryland. It's a little drive down to Florida, but I didn't like driving uptown to go to a doctor. And now I'm going 1,000 miles to see a doctor, and it's well worth the drive. And they've got me back to being who I was years ago, before whatever happened in my life to make me the miserable human being I was, which is part of this disease that I have, or had. And I'm doing the stuff that I quit doing years ago to please other people. And I wasn't taking care of me. I was worried about everybody but me. And from what I've learned is that's part of the disease. That's how you come up with this. And so it's not just lousy diet, but that has a lot to do with it, I'm sure. But like I said, I try to eat better. And I'm not a fast food junkie. But there's just so much more to it. And, of course, until I went naturally and started talking to the naturalists about taking care of the body. And they talk about taking care of the whole body. They treat the whole body, not just this or that. And your whole body is what takes care of this and that. So as long as you take care of your body's going to take care of you. And it's just so much more involved than just taking a pill and feeling better. It's just, I have changed some more of my eating habits. I always was a juicer, but I'm a fanatic now. Everything's organic, everything's juicing, everything is, following a program that is set up since I've been down here. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's a different kind of lifestyle. And, what was easy before, running out and to get a meal, well, Now I fix it myself. I know what I'm eating. I know what's going in my body now. And like reading labels, there you go. Go to the market. And now every time you pick something up, you read the label. And there's a lot of junk in all of the food that they tell you you can eat. And they advertise on TV. I was told if they advertise it on TV, don't do it. Don't, stay away from it. Yeah, I'm a label reader, and if it's got one ingredient in it, or if you pick it up and it's got a lot of ingredients, you just put it back on the shelf because there's too much crap in it. It just but I just have to read each label, and if it doesn't have anything that's harmful to me, then I'll buy it and try it. And if I like it, I might try it again. If not, there's a lot of stuff on the shelves. You can spend days in there just reading labels to figure out what you can and can't eat. But I wouldn't have gone this wholeheartedly into eating and but what I'm doing now without this simple 10-week education that I got down here. And I know that it's not one thing or two things or three things. It's everything that you do, including how you think and how you react I don't know how to explain it any better. When I got here, I was angry and resentful, and I hated the world. And now that I'm finishing up, I'm ready to go back out and tackle it, and I'm not going to let the world aggravate me anymore. There's no reason for it, I'm here. God made me to be happy. He didn't put me on the earth to be miserable. And so to me, being miserable for a life that was given to me is disrespectful. So I'm going to try to be happy from here on out. And I know just the fact that I've known people that have gone conventional treatments, and I say known in the past tense because they're dead. And a lot of family members, a lot of friends, and I tried to get a lot of those people to go natural. I didn't know this intense, but I mean, just to try changing the way they were living. The juicing was the first thing I came up with. But yeah, it's a little more work, but it's much more rewarding because I know now that I'm doing something that's good for me. It makes me feel good, and I'm not miserable anymore. I'm happy as I've ever been, and and it's just by changing the way I think, act, and do, and that's 3 little guidelines, and your whole life gets better. At least mine did. So, Doc, he don't mince words or anything. He tells you how it is. This is it, and if you want to get better, this is what you're going to have to do, and again, it's entirely up to me what I do. I can take his advice, and or I can go back to my old life, and in a couple more years, when I get cancer again, I can come back down and go through this. And everybody, I mean, not just Dr. Garcia, everybody here, it's just been, they're all out for my good. They ask me, or they tell me, if I ask them a question, they answer my question and tell me what I would think. Well, can I do this or that? Well, no, you shouldn't do that because it's not good for you. And they explain the stuff to me. It's not just well, here's your handbook. Just follow these directions and have a nice day. It just doesn't work that way there. And it's the whole staff, everybody. They're just all positive and ready to help. And even Mark.